this is why I think user interfaces are important, right? Because gatekeeping sucks. And I think it's called gatekeeping. Where it's like, you can't do this, and are you okay?
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at my phone. Didn't realise we started.
Oh, right.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, gatekeeping sucks. And so it's like, you can't do this unless you understand computer code, because, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know it from Dark Souls. We both know it from Dark Souls. You know the whole get good. And you're like, that's dumb. Just, like, enjoy this really great game. And I think gatekeeping is really dumb, right? And a lot of computer nerds get it very, very gatekeepy. Because they're just like, why don't you just learn how to program? Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, because I don't want to learn how to program, dickhead. I just want to be able to do this one thing that I need to do. Do you know what I mean?
No, but like, when it comes to stuff like that, I do kind of agree.
No, I don't, because I don't think I don't think the phrase, any form of the phrase "get good" is ever really a adequate retort for like complaints. So if someone can't do something and you just go "get good," do you know what I mean? You're like,
No, what I'm saying is like, not the get good aspect, but where it's just like, if you want to like make a game or something, learn code. Just like, yeah, I kind of agree with that.
no, I don't. That's where I like, it's basically, that's what I mean where it says "get good," but they're just like, well, learn code then. Do you know what I mean? Where
No,
you're like,
yeah,
you,
that's the thing.
instead of
like,
going, hey, instead of actually doing their job and making games easier to make, so like workflow can increase for like people who actually make games, not just for like hobbyists like me, but for people who actually make games who need like deadlines and things like that. They need to get shit done quickly. Instead, they just go, get good. Do you know what I mean? Like, the guy who made Nier Automata, Yoko Taro, doesn't know shit about code. He just wrote an amazing game and came up with the story, came up with the aesthetic, all of that.
Did he make it?
Huh?
Did he make it?
No, he went to Platinum Games, who went, alright, we'll do that for you. We got it. We'll make this easy. They didn't go, we'll get good. Do you know what I mean? Like, we'll learn how to code, dickhead. No, he made the game. Like, he came up with everything to do with the game. He just didn't actually, like, code it.
So he didn't make the game?
In the same way that you didn't make music, because you didn't make Cubase.
No.
Yes, that's exactly it. He went, I need this. The same way, what's his name? Metal Gear guy. Shit, what is his name?
Literally no idea.
You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
The guy who made Metal Gear.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go off the guy who made Metal
Hideo Kojima. Sorry, Hideo Kojima.
Okay,
Who made Metal
okay.
Gear. He came up with the idea of a stealth game. He told them how he wanted it, how to make it. Do you know what I mean? Like, all of the... that game would not be without him. But did he write every single line of code that it was in it? Probably not.
Yeah, but he also didn't make the game.
When you say make the game...
Okay, basically, what I'm saying is if I come to you and just say, okay, I want music that is a C going into a D, going into an E, going into an F, then back to a C again, with the melody of, like, all the fifths and everything. Yes, I'm giving you all that knowledge. I'm not making shit. You're making it.
No,
I'm writing it, yes.
That's
I'm
you
not
making
making
music.
No, that's me writing.
What's the difference?
Making is actually creating. Not concepts as in actual figures and stuff like that. So
But
game
hang on.
developers-
That's why I said like the thing with the Cubase thing, because that's exactly what you're doing to Cubase. You're saying, give me a C, give me an E, give me a something else.
Yeah,
whatever it
but
is
what
you
I'm
said.
saying is at no point did the guy who makes Metal Gear or the guy who made Nier Automata go, oh, you know what, I'm gonna hop on Unity and do this. No, he just goes to his team saying, I want this exactly like this. They then make it for him. So it's like, it's more outsourcing than anything.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I mean, okay, we'll gloss over that for a minute. But like, how is that a bad thing?
I didn't say it was a bad thing.
It sounds like you're saying it's a bad thing.
No.
In the same way that like, in the terms of like Cubase, you don't actually need to learn how to play what you write, because like Cubase will just play it for you.
Yeah. What?
So like you
Okay.
can overstretch.
I think we're just misunderstanding each other. What I'm saying is, if I want something done that I don't know how to do, say for example, we'll use music, even though I do know how to do that.
Right.
So let's just say I want a happy track
Yeah.
that's going to go behind a sunset scene that's going to
Yeah.
give the feeling of this, whatever. I can describe all this shit to you, and then you go away, go on Logic, go, oh, I'll make this the way he described. Then you bring that back to me. I go, yeah, that's cool, or no, I want something
Okay,
slightly
so
different.
That's a little bit different to what you said last time.
No, it's the same as outsourcing.
No, because outsourcing you don't actually get. With that, it sounds like you're going, I want a sunset theme, and then someone writes you a sunset theme. Like that's very different to you going, give me C, D, E, and then A.
No, it's
Like-
the same type of thing where what you're doing is you're telling someone who's a professional at whatever it is what you want.
Right. How is that different to literally anything that ever happened?
Again, I'm not saying it's different. All I'm saying, my whole point was that the person who made Metal Gear, or whatever his name was, didn't sit there and make Metal Gear on his own. He wrote it, sure. He may have
Right.
planned it, he wrote storyboards and everything, but the actual animation and shit wouldn't have been him.
Right. So again, like I'm not entirely sure what your point is. What
You were saying that it should be like user friendly for everyone, and I was just like, well, no, because the writers aren't gonna actually do anything.
No, that's I don't follow, because like my point is like if this wasn't user friendly, like you wouldn't have so if this was user friendly, you'd have a lot more people like these people around, because they'd be able to literally go, hey, I've got this great idea for a game, and then they'd be able to actually do it. Like for example, you and music, like you go, hey, I've got this great idea for a tune, and then you can just program it, right?
No, yeah, I get that.
There
but
are like I've seen it like with little kids, like when I used to teach, like I used to do this thing where I'd give them my laptop and show them like how to basically just write notes. Do you know what I mean? Which is not hard. Like it's literally just like control click.
Yeah.
And like the shit they came up with was pretty fucking mental. One little girl came up with one little girl who we were actually like genuinely considering, like we thought she was tone deaf, because she couldn't keep time like at all, and like couldn't even hold a tune.
Okay.
But like I gave her my laptop, and she wrote a canon.
Okay.
Which is kind of like a round thing, you know, the row duck.
Yeah.
She wrote one of those, and it was like textbook, but like she was 8 and knew nothing about music, and so I was like, I'm pretty sure you have no idea what you've just written. What I'm saying is like people have great ideas for stuff, but because technology is being a dick, and you've got people basically gatekeeping it, going, get good, learn to code, learn how. If you can't animate, then you don't get to make your idea. That's my problem with it. that's why I think UIs are important, and you should make them as easy as possible to use, because you get people like this little kid who just write these incredible things that people like me, who have spent years of their life trying to learn how to do and still can't do. Do you know what I mean? And they just do it. Like, there are some people who just have a knack for games. Like, the guy who made Zelda, what's his name? Kishimoto? No, that's the guy who wrote Naruto.
It doesn't matter about names, just... I
do
literally
you know
don't
the story
names.
about it? Like, so the president of Nintendo was a guy who didn't actually like video games, but he just had a knack for, like, spotting good ones. And all he did was play, like, shogi, apparently. And he knew the guy who made, like, Zelda and all that. And he kind of said to him, hey, I want to make this game about, like, exploring the tunnels in my back garden when I was young. I want to make a game about it. And he was like, do it. Here's a team that will help you with that. Go for it. And that's how we got Zelda.
Yeah, and, like, my whole point was just explained in that. There was at no point where he sat down and went, oh yeah, I need to actually make this. No,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a group of people who know what to do how to make it. That team that he had made it for him.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I was trying to say.
That's kind of what I'm trying to rail against, like the whole, like, well, you didn't make anything. Because it's like, well, by that same logic, it's like no one makes anything.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying, no, he's the writer, the, like, brains behind it. He didn't make it.
So, like, hang on.
It's all his idea, but in practically, he's got, like, 50 people behind him making that idea come true.
Yeah. So what's your point?
You keep saying, oh, yeah, like, this needs to be user-friendly, then use examples of people having teams.
Yes, that's why user-friendly is important, because you got people who don't know shit about games, who come up with these amazing ideas for games, and the only way they can actually get these games is by rich people giving them a fuck ton of money and a team. If you had a UI that was actually user-friendly, you could get people like this who could just sit there and make a fucking game. Or, like, make amazing music and stuff like... what's his name? Avicii. Who's... Didn't you tell me he used to, like, have people guide him because he just used to work on Audacity, like, on the way to gigs?
No, he had Fruit Loops.
Oh, Fruit Loop, okay. I can't say I've ever used it, sorry.
Yeah, neither have I.
But, like, he would just wrote some amazing stuff, like, on random-ass programs.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is kind of like... Same with the little girl example. Where it's like, if you make something easy to do, you'll suddenly find out, like, a lot of people can do it. I can't attack again. The fuck is up with, like, the connection today? I'm trying to throw this bomb.
It'll be something to do with your controller, not...
There we go. Got it eventually. Yeah, that's why it's like technological gatekeeping, I think. It's barring off content behind something, behind a technical skill. So it's like, in order to do this, you must be able to code. Otherwise, you don't get to do this. Even if you have, like, an amazing idea for a game. Because, like, the reason I bring up those examples is like, well, if they didn't... Oh, damn. Say, like, I don't know, it just so happened the guy who made Zelda didn't actually know the president of Nintendo. Do you know what I mean? It's like, do you know the president of Nintendo? Because I don't.
No, it just means we wouldn't get Zelda.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like, we wouldn't have one of the greatest... I wouldn't be playing this game. Well...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like... in the same way that... I can't remember who said it or who brought it up, but I heard it on, like, a philosophy podcast. It's like, all the geniuses are only the geniuses we heard about. So it's like before the days where writing was one of those things that's taught to everyone. It was only like the aristocrats, not aristocrats. The aristocrats who knew how to read and write. So like the old philosophical readings that we have now are only the ones who knew how to write them down. Like I think it's the one that we don't actually know whether he existed or not. Socrates, I think. Socrates or Aristotle, I get them mixed up. But one of them we don't actually know if he existed as an actual man, because he's only mentioned in... Yes, I think it's Socrates is only mentioned in Aristotle's writings, because he never wrote anything down. Socrates. I can't attack again.
Yeah, I figured.
Seriously, what the actual fuck is happening right now? Okay, there we go. Oh, Jesus. So it's like, yeah, we don't actually know whether he existed or not. And the only reason we know of any of his like so-called teachings is because Aristotle wrote them down.
Yeah.
So it's like, look, there could have been 1,000 Socrateses who had some really like important things to say.
No,
or,
yeah.
Like,
and
do you know what I mean? Where it's like you're gatekeeping it.
My point is using that example again.
Right.
Because Socrates didn't learn how to write.
Writing was seen as kind of like a privilege. Education was seen as a privilege, to be honest. And it was as soon as like education became widespread that kind of you started to get the ideas of other people, a different perspective, thing like that. He must have known how to write. I assume. Just because... well, actually, do you know what? I don't know. I'm assuming he knew how to write, because he knew Aristotle, who knew how to write. Because I think your point is... he didn't write it down, so it's his fault.
No,
he didn't want to learn how to write.
That, yeah, he could have learned
what
how
I'm
to
saying
write.
is not everyone has the opportunity to learn.
Yeah, but that doesn't apply anymore. Oh, yeah, sorry, that's not an issue anymore.
No, but like it's the same concept as you're gatekeeping something behind a skill that only a few people have the opportunity to learn.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that isn't a thing anymore.
It is with code. Like, it takes ages to learn how to code. It's not words. Now, it's what I'm saying is behind code.
No, what I'm trying to say is because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean that you can't learn. Like, if you want to make games, nowadays you can just watch shit tons of YouTube videos and learn how to.
No, what you can learn how to do is you can learn how to make the engine do things. You can't learn how to make games.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, like, people who want to make games, like, they have an idea for a game, and they go, I want to make that. And then you go, okay, but you need to, in order to make that, you need to learn how to code, you need to learn to do this, you need to do that. It's kind of like, well, hang on. Why don't the people who make the programs, who make games, do what they did for Logic and Cubase that allow people like us, who don't play piano, to, like, make MIDI? Do you know what I mean? I don't play drums, but I can program a drum loop. Do you play... you don't play drums, do you?
No.
No. I mean, we can both kind of... You probably better than me can play bass. But I can kind of play some bass. Can't play any piano. Can't play drums.
Yeah, see, that's where we completely differ.
But I know what I want to hear.
No, yeah, that's where we differ. Like, you saying you don't know how to play piano.
I don't.
I learned piano through MIDI.
Right, so you don't add it in one at a time?
No, I do, but I now know that I can play piano.
Right,
to
okay.
like get the notes and everything.
So
I
that's what I'm
could-
saying, is like, if there was just a really bad UI, right, and the only way of effectively putting in the notes to the, basically Sibelius, like if everything was like Sibelius and the only effective way was to actually learn how to piano, people like me wouldn't be able to write music. It's quite simple, like, because it's like, I'm just not going to play piano. I already play guitar. Why would I need to play piano as well? So now you're asking me to learn another skill on top of the skill I already know how to do in order to use that skill. So it's like, if I wanted to input a guitar track, for example, instead of like into MIDI, instead of just recording it, like writing it down, I'd have to learn how to play the piano and then play what I played on the guitar on the piano to put it in. Fucking get up.
Is your Switch turned?
I don't know. I might do a thing about it. Because once I'm done with this color thing, I've got a couple of like long deep dive things I want to do. But like, yeah, I don't like kind of the technological gatekeeping. There's a lot of it, like, just around. Like, if you want to do anything, it's like, well, you need to just learn computers. And it's
like, again, what I'm trying to say is that, sure, yeah, you if you want to make games, you have to learn how to make games. That's, or you can hire a team to do it for you. Like, that's always been the case. The issue now is that you're saying, oh look, I can download the software, I just don't know how to use it.
No, what I'm saying is the software, it isn't, the software is designed so you need to learn to code. So it's like, it's exactly what you said. Regardless of whether you download the software, it's like, you just need to learn to code. And I'm saying, actually, I don't think you should. I think it should be as easy as possible to make these things so anyone can do it. Because once anyone can do it, you get some very interesting ideas. You know, like, philosophy didn't get good until, like, other people, not just rich arseholes who could sit around thinking all day, could do it. In the same way that, you know, like, you wouldn't have any literature, like, at all, if writing wasn't widespread. What I'm saying is, like, if you look, I'm looking at games in that kind of perspective, where it's like, at the moment, we're at that point where only a select few people can actually make any games, because it's so difficult and it requires such a intensive process to actually make anything. Like, you can't just learn a little bit of code and make something. It's like, no, you have to learn a shit ton. Because, like, none of it's done for you. In that regard, you know what I mean? And I'm saying, like, I use it in music because it's kind of, it's a little bit better than that regard, because it's literally anyone can do it. Like, I can give you logic, and like I said, I gave it to a child. And it was just like, do something, and she wrote this amazing thing, which...
Yeah, you gave it to a child, then told her how to write stuff in.
I literally just said, yeah, here's how you write a note. Do it. Go nuts.
So you told her what to do.
Yeah.
That there's nothing difficult in music, essentially, when it comes to stuff like that.
What?
Like, what I'm saying is, music isn't particularly complicated. It's mainly done by ear.
Yeah.
Gaming isn't. It's not just done by eye either. At some point, something has to write a code.
Yes.
That's nothing to do with the software making it. That's to do with what's reading it. Like, all games, I think, are written in C#, probably.
I don't know.
Which is a specific language of code.
Yeah.
And, like, music is music theory and shit like that. But yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, I mean, like, what I'm saying is there's a game called Dreams. I don't know if you've heard of it,
No.
but it's a game that makes games.
Okay.
And of course you get, the standard memes, the giant amounts of basically Homer Simpson's website in game form.
Yeah.
But you also get like these truly incredible things. Like if you look at it, like some really, really like insane. Oh, that's unfortunate. Some really insane projects by people who don't know shit about coding. They just know. They know what they want to see. They know what they want to do. They know what the game is. They just don't know how to essentially physicalize it.
Okay.
And that's my thing. Technology is designed to make things easier, not to make things just as hard. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, we now have the ability to make games, but then we suddenly realize, okay, well that's a bit too hard. So like only people who can code can make games. Because you've said it many times. It's like, well, okay, the guy didn't make the game. He had to get someone to code. And I'm saying that's what's wrong. Like, if you just actually... If someone who understands all this stuff sat down and went, I'm going to make it as easy as possible to make a game so even children can do it. Like,
Okay.
could you just, like, imagine, like, the crazy shit we'd end up with?
Did you ever use Scratch?
I don't know what that is. So no.
It's basically a game making thing, but it makes code like a puzzle.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's made for children.
Yeah. Oh, in the
Still
same way, like
coding.
Stage Builder. You know what I mean? Like in Smash, like you get some weird stages. You get the dumbass stages with just lava all over the place. Mario Maker. Do you know what I mean? Like people aren't stupid. They understand game design language. It's like you take a look at the Mario Maker levels. Like there are some insane ones. There are
No,
some
yeah,
mean ones
I get
as well.
that, but it's still... That's not making a game. That's making a level.
Games are made of levels. So if you make a level and
No,
then you make a few, do you know what I mean? Where it's like,
The coding aspect of a game is normally like the physics, everything like that.
yeah,
the
and people
way it runs.
understand.
Like the fact I don't fall through the floor now,
Yes, and
that
like
would be some sort of coding.
yeah, and to be fair, Unreal does make that quite simple. Where it just you basically tell it, okay, make this solid, please.
Yeah, you turn collision on or whatever.
Yeah, but then it gets a bit weird where you have to tell it whether the thing moves or not. Which is fair enough. I do wish they'd call it something where it's like in English, not in the most phrased in the most pretentious way possible.
Yeah, that's down to human thing. Because I
Well,
know for a fact music softwares do exactly the same.
Yeah, and I don't like it when they do that as well. Like it's that thing. It's gatekeeping, where it's like you purposely phrase this to be as difficult to understand as possible. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like half the functions in logic and things like that, where you're like, I don't know what the fuck that does. What are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing which I don't like, where it's like, why did you not phrase that way? You know what I mean? It's like there are certain points you can make where you can just say it, or you can phrase it in a way that only a few people would understand to make yourself feel smart. Do you know what I mean? Where you use a lot of big words.
I get what you're saying, but to me, like, your whole point does just sound like, I don't know how to do this. I don't want to learn anything else.
It's kind of that, sort of. Change a couple words, and yes, that's my point. So I don't think you should need to learn anything else. That's my point. Like, if you want to make music, I think you should just be able to make music.
No, like, yes, I agree with that, but I also agree, if you want to make music, you learn.
Learn what?
Music.
And that's my point. No, I don't think you need to learn music to make music. I think if you have an idea for music, you can learn if you want. Like I'm not saying that. It's like, and it's a bit of a, I don't want to say, yeah, it's kind of a hypocritical thing because I'm doing exactly that. Like I'm literally learning how to make games. I've spent most of my life learning how to make music by learning music. But at the same time, like I think it's very, some people, you good?
Yeah.
As making some funny noises.
I don't have sound. Oh, he
Yep.
fucks
Alright.
off after all. I was just wondering what happened. Soz.
Yeah, I think it's just because like I've seen so many like people I went to college with, and like little children like I used to work with, do some really like genuine. Oh, for fuck's sake! Throw the explosive, you prick! Hey, there we go. Okay, yeah. Sorry to finish that point. I've seen some people who, oh for fuck's sake! I never mind. I'm just gonna use boomerangs a lot. Some people who, like I see it all the time. You know what I mean? Where it's like you shouldn't be able to do that, but you just did. Do you know what I mean? It's like where, like by all accounts and purposes, like there's no logical reason why you should have been able to do what you just did. Do you know what I mean? Like you've seen people do something that's way above what they should be able to do, like based on knowledge and effort and time that they put in, like based on their own skill level.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like people can overstep like massively, and I don't know why. But if you make it easier for them, we're going to see that an awful lot more. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, why are you trying to basically stifle that? You're going, okay, well, I mean, you've kind of done it. Oh, you arsehole! You just pushed me right. Fuck that guy. I don't know. I think the easier that you make it, the more that technology can kind of pick up the slack for lack of knowledge, the more we're going to see people like overstep what they should and shouldn't be able to be capable of. And I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, there's no, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't learn anything like that. And I'm just saying it for argument's sake, because it's like I'm literally learning. I'm not necessarily learning how to code, but I'm learning how to make games. I'm not doing very well, because all of this shit doesn't work and my computer's being an arsehole. But, like, what I'm saying is, like, the easier we make this for people, the cooler the shit we're going to make. Because right now, it's as you said, it's
I
like...
completely get what you're saying.
Get on the ledge, Link.
Like I've been saying for the past hour or whatever, I just don't agree.
Oh, alright, fair enough.
I agree, yes, it should be good that everyone can do it. But I'm just like, if you're using the software like Cubase, like Logic, like whatever, there's some sort of knowledge there.
Yes, there's a learning curve, but I don't think that learning curve should be as steep as Everest. Which I do think, I mean, the learning curve for Sibelius is super high. Logic, it's less so, but I still think it's a lot higher than it needs to be.
Yeah, but it's just the learning curve. So, like, when you start something, you have to learn something.
Yes.
That's...
I'm not... Why? Okay. None of... You know that A I just pressed there? That was actually my control stick. I've put the controller down. I don't know what's happening. Did anyone actually teach you how to make music?
Are you seriously talking about...
Like, go... No. I meant, like, I taught you how to play something. I didn't teach you how to make music. Like, I showed you some scales and things like that. All of the things, like, I've heard you write. It's like, I didn't show you how to do that. So, like,
No, yeah.
no one showed you, like, the order in which notes...
There's a difference between... What I'm trying to say is, No one shows me how to make, like, what I make.
Yeah.
That in itself, yes, what I make is mine. But it's also like I had to learn Cubase.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, right? That process of learning Cubase, I think, should be as easy as possible. And what I'm saying is that process of learning the thing isn't as easy as it should be, or I think it should be, when making games. I still think there's a lot of kind of get good. It's like, if you can't do it, then, well, you're just a moron who didn't get good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like Giant Dad standing there going, get good, bro.
No, I get that, but essentially...
That's what my problem is, and I think...
Yeah, and essentially what you're saying
yeah.
is to the people that make the programs, get good.
No, I'm saying do your fucking job.
They are.
No, they're not. They're making programs
for them.
Their job
is not...
Their job was to make a program for game designers,
and they did.
right? Then what they did is make a program for them.
No, they made a program for game designers. The people that made Unity probably won't use Unity.
That's because they don't make games.
Yeah, because they're coders.
Exactly. Like that's what
they're software developers.
They made a game, for, a thing for coders. And what I'm saying is like you can't. It's more of a marketing thing then, I guess. Where it's like it's marketed as a program for game designers, but it's not. It's a program that makes games, but it's not designed for for game designers. It's designed for programmers. In my opinion, I think that is. I'm a bit more confident saying that about Sibelius than anything else, because I'm a bit more confident in Sibelius. Like whoever made Sibelius is not a musician.
Never used it. Again, like I've never used Unity or Sibelius.
Okay.
But it just, all I can say is that I know Unity does a lot, so they can't make it extremely simple.
No, but
and as for the coding side, everything has some sort of coding.
No matter what your program is, no matter how much your program does, your computer does more. Right?
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is like computers are fantastically easy to use, right? In general. It's
Yeah.
only when you start dicking around with programs that all of a sudden does it get really complicated. What I'm saying is like, why did you not just make a program that's as simple to use as your computer is?
Yeah, so what you're saying is the programmers who make the softwares need to do a better job.
Or just like...
So they need to get good.
No, I'm saying that they need to make a program. They need to be clear about who they're making the program for. Do you know what I mean? Like, if it's a program for coders, oh my god, yeah, do what you want. But like, if you're making a program that's very meant to, that's by its essence, like in its thing, they're saying, right, okay, this is a program that we're designing for children, for example. You're not going to make it have a lot of big words and speak Shakespearean.
Yeah.
Because that's not, like, why would you do that? Yeah, that's bad design. Because you're missing the target. What I'm saying is, like, if you're trying to hit, like, a mainstream audience, you need to make it as simple to use so everyone can use it. So anything that a coder would be like, this is super simple, probably isn't that simple. Do you know, like, I think we said about music theory where, like, we kind of forget how complicated it is sometimes.
No, yeah, like, what I'm saying is that once you know something, you're just like, oh, that's easy.
Yeah, but, like, I think the coders kind of have done that, where they're like, oh, no, this is super simple. And it's like, yeah, that's because you know a lot of code. Whereas, like, modes are quite simple to me, because I've been around them for quite a while. But, like, for someone just learning them, that's confusing as shit. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I've always understood what you've meant. All I'm saying is that you have to learn.
Okay.
Like, no, I don't expect you to learn how to make a program, to learn to make a game. But you have to know, like, how games run, everything like that, which does involve code.
And okay, it does involve code. What you're saying is like, and it's like, what I'm saying is, you're going, oh, it just is what it is. It is the way it is. And I'm saying, yeah, but you made it that way. Well, not you specifically, but you know what I mean. Like, it's not enough to just go, well, that's you just need to learn code because his model is way fucking off. Did you see that?
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that all you're doing is just passing the blame on to someone else.
No, I kind of get what you mean, where it's like, get good. And I don't mean it like that. What I'm saying is like, you've clearly not, you clearly are good, and you're doing the opposite. You're going, you're not good, so you can't. That's why I said it's like the gatekeeping thing. Because it's like someone saying who is good, going, you need to get good. And I'm saying, no, I don't.
No, I'm at no point am I saying the get good mentality is a good mentality to have.
I don't know. I'm not saying.
But it's good to learn.
I mean, I agree. Yes.
Like, for example, if
Hello.
we're talking about games, literally no idea where that came from.
Yeah, that really got in the way.
Yeah, when you're making games, I'd say to make a good game, you have to learn. Whether that be like looking through references, looking through whatever. But you have to at some point learn. Like, you had to learn how to make lava texture. That isn't a simple thing. Okay, what the fuck?
Yeah, what is up with this?
I am certain I turned hazards off.
Okay.
Yep. At least I got frozen.
Yeah. Fuck. I really don't miss that. Like when I was making the lava texture, for example, like, it wasn't as complicated as I thought, but it is still more complicated than it needs to be.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, everything is complicated until you learn it.
No, I know how to do it, and I still think it's complicated. What I'm saying?
You haven't.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck is this?
See you later. What I'm saying is that no effort was made to simplify it, to make it easier. To I didn't have a spin, I guess. That's what I mean. But it's like there's a thought. I guess it is gatekeeping, but it's not like super. It's not like, you know, giant dad get good levels of gatekeeping, but there is a hint of like computron snobbery, shall we say? Where it's like, oh, you don't understand the computers? Well, you know, you just need to code. It's yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, well, you don't need to understand a lot. You just need this little bit, but you need to understand computers. And I'm kind of saying, well, no, you don't. You don't need to learn. In the same way that you don't need to know shit about music to make music. You know, like, it's good to know, totally. Like, it'll help you get more specific about what you want to write. So if you wanted to write your sunset theme that you were talking about earlier, like, music theory is going to help you do that and get a little bit more specific and maybe cooler stuff. But, like, if you have an idea for a theme tune that you're like, hey, yo, this would go really well over a sunset level, then there you go. Like, no one. What I'm saying is, like, I wouldn't dare say if someone came to me with, like, hummed to me a tune and said, I want this to go over this chord here, da 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 da, and that, like, they hummed it out and I wrote it down for them. Like, I wouldn't dare say, like, they did not make that tune. Like, they absolutely did make that tune.
Yeah, like.
And in the same way, it's kind of like. I wouldn't tell that person, no, you can't write music because you don't know anything about music theory. Learn chords. What do you mean you don't play anything?
Like, what I'm saying is, don't tell people don't do this because you can't do this. But when you're saying, oh, I can't code, so there should be no code in making games. It's just
Yeah.
like that's not the thing. Like, and when you say, oh, if I made something, but someone else told me to do it on music, that makes you a producer and them the writer. Because you produced it, they wrote it.
Now, okay, hang on. It kind of sounds like you're getting way too specific about it. Because, like, it's one of those things, like the no one man can make a pencil argument. Where it's like, because it goes around, you need like 1,000 different people to make one pencil. So, like, no
what
one
I'm
person
saying
actually
is
makes
that
it. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, some leaf appeared. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that you either learn the program or whatever, or you make someone else do it for you. Which is like there's the movie thing where there's a director, a writer, actors, everything like that. When yes, in theory you could just sit there, record it all on your phone. But it's not going to be as good because you don't essentially know color grading, shit like that, to make it look good.
No, in the same way that, like, the music we make would sound way better if we got an actual producer to do it, who spent his life learning how to record things. Like, I don't know shit about recording.
I mean, I don't record, so...
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Where it's like, just because we don't know how to do this one thing doesn't mean we don't make it. Yeah, no, I disagree. That's all. I think, like, it's already been made, in that sense, in my example, where it just doesn't physically exist. Because I'm thinking of it like, it exists already as an idea that's fully formed. And you're just giving it a physical dimension.
Yeah.
That's my thing, where it's like, okay, that process of turning something from an idea into a physical thing should be as simple as possible. And I'm not saying, like, with the example of games, like, I'm not telling... it would be stupid of me to be like, okay, computers, if you want to make computers and programs, you shouldn't learn how to code. It's like, well, no. But it's like, I don't want to make computers or programs. I want to make games, or I want to make music, or I want to make a Word document.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
like,
Where it's like,
what I'm saying is that's completely the wrong mentality to have. Or not, maybe not completely, but it's just like the complete opposed to learning code.
Well, no, I'm saying it's like, it's not necessary. It's like if someone said, okay, I want to write this thing down. What the fuck?
Don't question it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? If someone said, hey, yo, I want to write a poem down on the computer, and someone said, okay, well, you need to learn to code to make Word. And you're like, what? No, it's not necessary, is what I'm saying. And I think... I mean, there's games like Dreams, there's that thing that you mentioned that I forget the name of, that's designed for kids. Yeah. Where it's like, clearly it's not necessary. It's just people don't want to kind of make it.
No, like, the thing with Scratch and whatever, Dream, was it called?
Dreams, yeah.
It's not creating games. It's running a game off an engine that someone else has made.
What?
It's Scratch is coding,
Right.
but it's made for kids, so it's done in like a puzzle piece.
Right, okay, Dreams is literally, you get, like, they have assets and predetermined, like, do you want this to run? Here is your character, how do you want it to move?
Yeah, exactly.
And you literally put it together. Like, you build
so
game.
What you've done is someone's coded it for you.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Someone coded it for you.
Right.
So is that what you want all programs to do? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, like cut out, like yeah, like that's what my word example was trying to say. It's like you don't need someone to. Of course, someone's coded it for you. Like that's why Word works. But I'm saying it's like all I need to do is type the thing. So it's like I need to learn how to type, like direct use of the program, not kind of use of the thing that runs the program.
No, yeah. What I'm saying is Dream is Dream. It's not whatever game you make. It's Dreams. Whatever you make on Scratch is still Scratch.
Right. And whatever you make on Cubase is still Cubase.
No.
Then it doesn't follow. Like, that's the same argument. That's what you're making.
No, because... Okay, so... don't even know how to explain this. So, let's use this game as an example.
Mm-hmm.
If I go on Stage Builder...
Yeah.
That's not a new game.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so Dreams there's no game.
No, there's no
it's
game.
It's just
in
literally
Dream.
like, sorry.
Dreams is a game, but you can make a level in the game. So you're not making a game; you're making a level in the game. Whereas Unity is making essentially how everything runs.
Right. Okay. But your same argument still applies to Cubase in that way. It's like you're not actually making any of the sounds. You're making a Cubase thing.
No, where it differs is... actually, I don't know if it's like this for Dreams, but I know for Scratch, you need Scratch. If you ever want to play a Scratch game, you need Scratch.
Oh, I see. Right, yeah.
I assume if you ever want to play a Dream game, or like if I wanted to play a custom stage on this, I need Smash Ultimate.
Right.
So
I
there,
actually
the
don't
limiting
know.
factor is...
So you're saying like it becomes an actual thing if it's an export?
Yeah, because once you export it, it's not a part of the software. So like
But,
Logic, as soon as you put it into MP3, it's a music track.
So it's not a music track before that?
No, it is, but it's still in Cubase.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like what I'm saying is like it doesn't matter the location. A music track is still a music track.
Yeah, and then you're talking about games, and it's just like...
Yeah, whether that game exists within a game or not, like it's still a game. So like for me, like I wouldn't like just pick it. Oh, in the same way that like Cluedo and Monopoly on the Wii. Do you know what I mean? Like they're the same thing. Like Monopoly and Monopoly on the Wii. It's the same game. It just it doesn't matter where it exists. One exists on the Computron, one exists on like physical cards, I guess.
Yeah, and that's like more of the producer-director type thing I was talking about. Whereas Monopoly, yes, that's a game. That's a physical game.
Yeah.
Then some coders have gone, make this into this.
Yeah, so it's
And
basically
so
your
background, they've gone into Unity or whatever they use, and then made it, then exported it as a game.
Yeah, but
They
it was a
didn't-
game in Unity.
Okay, that
No,
may have been a
it
bad
sounds like we're
example
just
then.
arguing over location, like whether that be
No,
like
okay.
digital location, like whether it exists within a
What,
program.
what I'm
or,
saying is, I don't need to buy Logic to listen to something you make.
no, but you do need to buy a computer. Like in the same way that's like if you want to play Smash, like you need a Wii. You can just take it back further and further. Like you're arguing over. It's the same thing I was saying. It's like it's just location. Like so, for me, games exist the moment you think of them because they exist as an idea. In the same way that the idea for a tune exists as soon as you have the idea for it. Oh, thanks, whoever that was.